Here's the HP-75C, HP's first portable computer, introduced in 1982 and discontinued in 1984 when it was superseded by the HP-75D. Now, I bought this off an online auction. I'd never seen one before, so I had no idea what they looked like in the flesh. I was quite surprised when I opened the box. Just to give you some perspective, so I haven't changed the camera settings at all. This is the 71B, so to give you more perspective, HP-41C, and here's just an idea of the size of the likes of Casio FX calculator. But if we bring the 75C in, you can see it's actually quite a big beast. I mean, I was quite surprised, how big it was. If you compare these machines here, I was expecting it to be more this size here of the 71B, judging by the photos. Of course, I'd never held one, and it's quite chunky, quite thick, but really nice little machine. It's runs basic and comes with the classic style battery pack. The AA style. Contacts are a little bit dirty, I'm going to need to clean those. Battery's not in very good condition, I will replace those batteries there. It uses the standard HP power pack, so this is quite common for the likes of the HP-41s and the peripherals. Little AC adapter, so it's outputting AC and that just plugs in to the power port on the back there. Rechargeable NiCads, I think they were originally. Takes about 8 hours to charge the battery fully, and depending on usage, I'm not sure exactly how much time you would get, but the manual does say that operating the beeper at low frequencies drains the battery 4 times faster than just normal use. Comes with 16K built-in RAM, 48K ROM built in, and there is an internal expansion that I think you get to it from the bottom of the machine here. I've not really looked into that. So you can add more RAM into a spare slot in the back inside the machine here. And also there's 3 ROM expansions for ROM modules in the front here. These are just blanking plates, so there's no ROM modules in there. Built-in card reader. So it takes these long strip cards, double-ended, so two-sided. So one end, if you feed into here, you'll get 650 bytes of information on one side, and if you flip the card, you get another 650 bytes. You manually feed the card in here until you get up to the bin between these 2 lines here, and you run a command to either read or write from the card, and then you hit return and just pull the card through. That reads or writes to the card. Also built-in HP-IL for the HP-IL loop, and you can connect things like the HP thermal printer, mass storage device like the digital cassette drive, also multimeters. I've got a display adapter as well. So to turn the machine on, we just hit the ATTN attention button here, and we're presented with a flashing cursor. Okay, so actually I'll run a reset. So to do a full reset, I'll reset this machine. Shift Control Clear. So that's like a factory reset, and first thing is to set the date and time, and you do that just by putting in month, day, year. So month at the moment is 06, day is 02, 2019. I'll just approximate the time. It's 9:54:00 AM. Hit return, and that's the clock set now. Okay, you can do more commands to more accurately set the clock. I won't go through that in this video. And if you want to reset the clock, you just type in the set command here and return. Comes with a built-in appointment mode, so you can add appointments with alarms, you can take notes, you can save text files. It's pretty handy for the time. I think, you know, it's probably one of the first likes of PDA, personal digital assistants, that ever that came out. Yeah, maybe not the first, but pretty close to, I would say. Anyway, you've got, you can display the time just by the time key. Edit is for just carrying out functions and likes of maths functions and basic programming. The manual is substantial. In typical HP fashion, the documentation is incredibly good, and quite often the manuals actually are bigger and heavier than the device itself. So it reassures the user by quoting in the manual, you cannot damage the HP-75 by pressing its keys. So, you know, there's nothing you can do to upset this. If you mash the keyboard, you know, just do anything. There's nothing. I mean, the worst you could do obviously is delete files and reset things. You know, if you've got them backed up to either card or mass storage, no problem. You can save basic programs, you can save your appointments, text files, alarms, and key assignments. I'll just quickly run through some of the basics. So general maths functions, you've got, you know, lots of 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, for instance. Equal button is not used, but to get the result, return. 15 there. Okay, lots of square rooting, square root, shift bracket, 78, shift bracket close, return, gives you your result. And the normal rules of mathematics apply, the likes of precedence. So if you were to do 2 plus 6 times 3, we get 20. So the 6 times 3 is calculated first, but if you do the likes of open bracket 2 plus 6 close bracket times 3, adds 2 and 6 first and then multiplies it by 3. So bracketing works as you'd expect. A really basic program is we can just start with a line number 1, and the command beep will sound the beeper, and then we'll just generate a random tone. 999, comma, random times 0.5. So the 999, the random number here preceding the comma is the tone, and this after the comma here is the length of the tone. And then we concatenate the string, so we're actually using at here to, instead of going to another line, we're just concatenating a line on the end here. So go to 1, return, and then we can just run that as it is. So that file, because we haven't given it a name or done any file management with that basic program, it's actually just been inserted into what's called a work file. So it's like a running file. It's, well, not a running, it's like a temporary workspace. So if I reset the computer, that work file will be lost. So enter the ATTN to stop the program. So I can list the program just with list return. It lists the program there. If we want to save the existing work file, actually I'll show you a catalog. So cat return shows us that we've got a work file. Okay, and if I hit the down key, it starts to list the file. Okay, now if I want to save that file, I go rename to and give it a new name. So Singsong. I'm taking this from the manual, by the way, if you recognise some of this. Return. So now if I do catalog the memory, I've got a file called Singsong. If I go down, it starts to list the file. And if I turn the machine off and come back in again, do a cat, as you'd expect, it's saved. Okay, so, and then if you want to rename that Singsong, say you wanted to rename that to, I don't know, Sing, for instance, you would do rename Shift 7, that is, so quote mark, Sing Song to Sing, enter the cat. So there we go. Singsong is now called Sing. So if I want to copy that file that's sitting in RAM to a card, then we just do copy. Now there's two ways. You can copy the existing file, or you can specify a file, but because we've only got one file in the memory and it's the existing file, we just go copy to space card, copy space to space card, return, and it says one track needed, copy to card, align and return. So that's prompting you to align a card. So I'm going to use this card here. I've got a program on one side called overflow, but I want to use the other side. You can only put one program per side on a card. So load the card here. So we've aligned, it's prompting to return. Go ahead and return. Pull the card. Now it's asking to verify. Load again, align, return, verify failed. Some of these cards are a little bit dodgy. It's writing, so that wrote again, hopefully. Verify. Verify failed. So that card might not be much good. Yeah, so it seems to be, maybe these cards need a little clean. Let's try another one. verify. That got it. Okay. So it pays not to handle the cards on the back because of the oil that can build up from your fingers. So just on the edges, I think it's probably okay to handle the edges here. You know, as long as you keep them reasonably clean, because this section here is not used for data. It's just up to your alignment mark. That's just so you can feed the card through far enough, you know, for it to stick out the right hand side there so you can grab it. So now the program Sing should be on this card here. Now you can catalogue the card. So let's catalogue the card by cat card. If you want to see what's on there, return, align, return, Sing. So you can see that it's put Sing on the card there. So you can purge Sing from memory and then reload it. So if we did that, purge, I think that's the command, Sing. You have to use the quote marks. So bring the cursor across. I/R key is insert or replace, so I want to insert. And then use the cursor, purge Sing. So now for cat, to see what's in memory, we have it back to a work file. Okay, now if I want to load the Sing program, so I go copy card to Sing Song. Let's call it Singsong. So I'm actually creating the file name. Enter, return, sorry. Align, return, done. So to catalogue all RAM files is cat all. Singsong, here we go. So cat will give you the catalogue of the existing current work file or current file. Cat all will list all files. Just use the up and down cursors here. Okay, a quick demonstration of the interface loop. I've got a printer set up here, cassette drive and a display little monitor here, which is being run by this video interface module here. It's part of the interface loop there. First thing you have to do is to set up the interface by issuing an assign IO. Turn on the devices helps. Clear that. It'll take a wee while to time out. It's looking for devices. Yeah, error loop. Turn the devices on. Do that again. Assign IO. Return. 3 devices on loop. The first device, I know you can work out what's first device by just tracing the cable. And the first device is a printer, so I'm going to call that P. The device names can be 2 characters and it will ignore a space on the second character if you want to make it brief. So P for printer. Device 2 is cassette, so let's just call that CA for cassette. And then we've got the video device, I'll call that TV. And done. And you can list IO. 3 devices assigned. It's just skipping through them there. Now if I change the display so that it displays to the monitor here, I can do that by the display is TV command. You have to have the correct syntax. It's shift quote not that one, colon, TV, close quote. Now everything I type here on the computer is showing on the TV there. Cat, let's try cat all. I've got one program, Singsong. So edit Singsong. Oops, enter. Down arrow. We get the listing there. Run it. Okay. And if I do this command, printer is, and then the P which I assigned before to printer, enter, that's happy. Then I can list the program. The command I'm typing is plist, enter, and there's the little basic program, Singsong, printed there. So there's just a introductory look at the HP-75C and a few of the peripherals. I'll go through the cassette functions in another video, and more in-depth printing functions and TV functions there as well. So keep an eye out for those. Thanks for watching.